As a doctor, I'm shocked. This common food worsens reflux overnight. Have you been suffering from that burning sensation in your chest after meals? Wondering why your reflux medication isn't working as well as it used to? In today's video, I'm going to reveal something that might shock you, a common food that could be making your reflux symptoms dramatically worse overnight. This isn't information you'll typically hear from most doctors, but understanding this connection could be the missing piece in your journey to finding relief. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how certain foods impact your digestive system, and more importantly, what specific changes you can make starting today that might help you finally get the relief you've been searching for. If you've tried everything for your reflux without success, this might be the most important 20 minutes you'll spend on your health this week. You know that uncomfortable burning sensation that creeps up your throat after a meal? That pain that keeps you up at night, forcing you to sleep propped up on pillows? If you're nodding your head right now, you're definitely not alone. Millions of Americans just like you are dealing with acid reflux or GERD every single day. What if I told you that one of the foods you might be eating regularly, maybe even daily, could be making your reflux dramatically worse? Would you be surprised to learn that this food is often recommended as part of a healthy diet? Yet for reflux sufferers, it could be causing significant harm. Before I reveal what this food is, let's talk about what actually happens in your body when you experience reflux. Have you ever wondered why some people can eat anything without issues, while you seem to pay the price for even the smallest dietary indiscretion? It all comes down to the lower esophageal sphincter, or LES, that's the valve between your stomach and esophagus that's supposed to keep stomach acid where it belongs. When this valve weakens or relaxes inappropriately, stomach acid can flow backward into your esophagus, causing that familiar burning sensation. But what causes this valve to malfunction in the first place? Is it just bad luck, or is there something more specific happening? Think about your reflux for a moment. When is it at its worst? Is it after breakfast, after lunch, or does it seem to flare up most severely in the evening or at night? Many of my patients report that their symptoms are particularly troublesome after dinner or when lying down to sleep. Does this sound familiar to you? The timing of your symptoms can provide important clues about what might be triggering your reflux. And this brings me to an important question. Have you ever tracked your symptoms alongside what you eat? Most people with reflux know that certain foods like tomatoes, citrus, chocolate, or coffee can trigger symptoms. But the food I'm going to reveal today might surprise you because it's often considered beneficial for overall health. Did you know that certain foods can actually affect the pressure of your lower esophageal sphincter? Some foods cause this muscle to relax, making it easier for acid to flow upward. Others can increase stomach acid production, making reflux more likely and more painful when it occurs. Some even delay stomach emptying, increasing the chances of reflux simply because food and acid stay in your stomach longer. Let me ask you this. Do you regularly consume dairy products? Milk, cheese, yogurt? Many of us grew up being told that milk would soothe an upset stomach. Remember those commercials promoting milk for heartburn relief? Well, science has shown us something quite different. For many reflux sufferers, dairy, particularly high-fat dairy, can be problematic for several reasons. First, fat slows down digestion, keeping food in your stomach longer and increasing the chance of reflux. Second, many dairy products contain casein, a protein that can relax that all-important lower esophageal sphincter. And third, full-fat dairy is acidic, potentially worsening symptoms once reflux occurs. But here's the shocking part. The common food that I've seen worsen reflux symptoms dramatically isn't dairy. It's actually whole wheat bread and other whole grain products. Surprised? Many of my patients certainly are when I tell them this. You see, whole grains are generally recommended as part of a healthy diet, and for many people, they're excellent choices. But for reflux sufferers, they can spell trouble. Why? Because whole grains are high in fiber, which is generally good for digestion. But they also contain phytic acid and other compounds that can be difficult to digest, especially for those with sensitive digestive systems. When these grains aren't properly digested, they can ferment in your gut, causing gas and bloating that puts pressure on your stomach and that weaken less valve. The result? More reflux, more burning, more discomfort, often striking in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep. Does this mean you should avoid all whole grains? Not necessarily. Everyone's triggers are different, but I found that many of my patients experience significant improvement when they temporarily eliminate or reduce whole grains, particularly wheat-based products. and then slowly reintroduce them in moderation while monitoring symptoms. Have you been including plenty of whole grains in your diet because you thought they were the healthy choice? If so, you might want to experiment with reducing them for a week or two and see if your reflux improves. You might be surprised by the results. Let's talk about another important aspect of reflux that often gets overlooked: meal timing. When was the last time you ate dinner less than 3 hours before going to bed? Do you often snack in the evening while watching TV? These habits can significantly impact your reflux symptoms regardless of what foods you're eating. Your digestive system works best when you're upright and active. When you lie down with a full stomach, gravity is no longer helping keep stomach contents where they belong. This is why many reflux sufferers experience their worst symptoms at night. Has your doctor ever mentioned this to you? If not, adjusting your meal timing might be another simple change that could provide significant relief. What about stress? Have you noticed that your reflux tends to flare up during particularly stressful periods in your life? This isn't a coincidence. Stress can increase stomach acid production and affect digestion in various ways. It can also cause muscle tension, including in the digestive tract, potentially affecting that crucial less function. Taking steps to manage stress, whether through meditation, gentle exercise, or simply prioritizing activities you enjoy, can be an important part of managing reflux symptoms. What stress reduction techniques have you tried? Are there activities that seem to help your symptoms subside? Now, let's address medications. Are you currently taking medication for your reflux? Many people rely on proton pump inhibitors, PPs, or other acid-reducing medications to manage their symptoms. While these medications can be effective and sometimes necessary, they're not without potential long-term side effects. Did you know that long-term use of PPs has been associated with increased risk of certain nutrient deficiencies, bone fractures, and even kidney problems? I'm not suggesting you stop your medication. Never do that without consulting your doctor. But I am suggesting that exploring dietary and lifestyle changes might help reduce your reliance on these medications over time. Speaking of lifestyle changes, let's talk about body position. Do you prop yourself up with pillows at night to help manage reflux? While this can help, it's not always the most effective approach. Elevating the head of your bed by 6 to 8 inches using blocks under the bedpost or a specially designed wedge pillow can be more effective because it elevates your entire upper body, not just your head and neck. Have you tried this approach? If not, it might be worth considering, especially if you experience significant nighttime reflux. Let's circle back to diet for a moment. Beyond the surprising impact of whole grains, there are other dietary factors that can affect reflux that you might not be aware of. For instance, did you know that how you combine foods can impact digestion and potentially reflux symptoms? Some digestive health experts suggest that eating proteins and starches at separate meals can improve digestion and reduce symptoms like reflux. The theory is that different food groups require different digestive enzymes, and separating them makes digestion more efficient. Have you ever tried food combining approaches to manage your reflux? Another factor to consider is meal size. Large meals stretch the stomach and increase pressure, making reflux more likely. Many reflux sufferers find relief by eating smaller, more frequent meals rather than 3 large ones. Is this something you've experimented with? I also want to address a common misconception about reflux. Many people believe that all reflux is caused by too much stomach acid. While excess acid can certainly worsen symptoms, some cases of reflux may actually involve normal or even low stomach acid levels. In these cases, the issue isn't the amount of acid, but rather where it's going, up into the esophagus, rather than staying in the stomach where it belongs. This distinction matters because treatments focused solely on reducing acid might not address the underlying cause. Have you ever considered that your reflux might not be solely an acid problem? Let me share a success story from my practice. Mary, a 65-year-old patient, had been suffering from severe reflux for years. She was taking maximum doses of medication and still experiencing symptoms. After we discussed the potential impact of whole grains on her condition, she decided to eliminate wheat and other grains for 2 weeks as an experiment. The results were dramatic. Her symptoms improved by about 70% within the first week. She was able to reduce her medication and eventually work with her doctor to discontinue it entirely. Now, she occasionally enjoys small amounts of grain products without issues, but knows that larger portions will trigger her symptoms. Could you experience similar results? Every person is different, but many of my patients have found significant relief by identifying and addressing their specific food triggers. With whole grains being a common culprit that most had never suspected, are you feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this information? That's completely understandable. Reflux can be complex, and there's often no one-size-fits-all solution. The key is to approach it systematically, making one change at a time and monitoring your response. Would you be willing to keep a food and symptom journal for the next 2 weeks? This simple step can help you identify patterns and potential triggers that might be unique to your situation. Many of my patients discover surprising connections this way, foods they never suspected were causing problems. I also want to mention the importance of working with healthcare providers who take your symptoms seriously. Have you felt dismissed or not fully heard when discussing your reflux symptoms with medical professionals? Unfortunately, this is a common experience. Don't be afraid to seek second opinions or work with practitioners who specialize in digestive health. As we start to wrap up this discussion, I want to emphasize that managing reflux is often about making multiple small changes rather than finding one magic solution. Reducing problematic foods like whole grains, adjusting meal timing, elevating the head of your bed, managing stress, and perhaps working with your doctor to optimize your medication approach. All of these strategies together can make a significant difference. What one change discussed today do you think you might try first? Which seems most doable for your current lifestyle? Remember, sustainable changes are usually the most effective ones in the long run. I also want to acknowledge that changing dietary habits can be challenging, especially when it involves foods we've been told are healthy or that we particularly enjoy. The good news is that many people find they can eventually reintroduce moderate amounts of trigger foods once their reflux is better controlled. Has the fear of giving up favorite foods prevented you from making dietary changes in the past? Before I share my final thoughts, I want to thank you for staying with me throughout this video. Digestive health issues like reflux can significantly impact quality of life, and taking the time to learn about potential solutions shows your commitment to your health and well-being. If you found this information helpful, I'd be grateful if you'd hit the like button. It helps others with similar concerns find this content. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so for more videos on managing reflux and other digestive health topics. Do you have questions about your specific reflux situation? Please leave them in the comments below. I try to respond to as many as possible. Your questions often inspire future videos that can help the entire community. For those of you who've stayed until the very end, I have a special request. Please comment reflux relief below so I know you've watched the complete video. This helps me understand which topics resonate most with you and informs the content I create going forward. Also, keep an eye out for my next video appearing on your screen now. It delves into natural supplements that may help manage reflux symptoms, some of which might surprise you just as much as today's revelation about whole grains. Remember, understanding your unique reflux triggers is the first step toward finding lasting relief. You don't have to resign yourself to living with constant discomfort or relying solely on medications with potential long-term side effects. Small, strategic changes can make a significant difference, and you deserve to enjoy your meals without fear of painful consequences. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to continuing this conversation in the comments section below. Here's to your improved digestive health and more comfortable, reflux-free days ahead.